Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
And welcome everybody to the PM Show. It's our PM Show on sports, the Fred Dryer edition. And as you might have guessed, I am not Fred Dryer. I'm neither Fred Dryer or Michael Horn, who Michael Horn is on assignment. Fred Dryer, probably, if I was to predict what Fred Dryer is doing at this very moment, I bet I could probably pretty accurately predict what it is that he is doing. I think it would probably be a disservice to the audience, or maybe kind of an insult to their intelligence if we were to tell the audience that might be listening to this program over the weekend, because this program does get repeated throughout the weekend, especially on the weekend. Fred Dryer on sports, of course. But at the time of this recording, or this live broadcast, whichever it is that you might happen to be listening to, we are literally 1 hour away from the Republican debates that are taking place at the Ronald Reagan Library. So I would imagine Fred Dryer probably doing his patriotic duty, probably getting ready and preparing himself to watch the debates tonight, to try to hone down maybe a selection on perhaps one of this year's presidential candidates. So that's where Fred might happen to be. Michael Horn actually doing a sporting, I believe something of a sporting event in his own right. I think he's with William Shatner in Las Vegas at the South Point Arena and Equestrian Center. William Shatner, of course, a known horse person, taking part of one of his events, and Michael Horn, being a good friend of William Shatner, he's there, I guess, for all the festivities and there to support Bill. So there you go. So that's good stuff happening. We're glad to be here because we got an exciting show in store. Talk about Mr. Excitement. We got the Prince of Pranks, the clubhouse comedian, none other than a guy that played for a lot of professional baseball teams, Jay Johnstone. Jay Johnstone will be here with us today. He's always got a lot of stuff going on. I know he's got a golf tournament for Wounded Warriors to speak about. That's coming up, I believe, in October. We'll get on into that with Jay. We're going to have to talk about, of course, his incredible career, the baseball career. I mean, he played for so many teams, successful, I think, with each and every one of them. Unlike other players that would get dealt or traded as their numbers kind of tailed off, Jay Johnstone was one of those in-demand kind of guys that a lot of teams always wanted to have. So he never had that issue of his numbers kind of sagging like many of our sports professionals today. He was in so much demand, teams wanted him. He was highly sought after. So we're going to get Jay Johnstone's his opinion, his take on all the things that are happening within the world of sports. Perhaps we'll even ask Jay, being that we're, again, at the time of this broadcast, an hour away from the Republican debates in Simi Valley, California at the Ronald Reagan Library, we'll ask Jay Johnstone if he ever witnessed was there ever any clubhouse electioneering? Was there any particular, we don't have to name anybody, call anybody out by name, but was there ever any politics going on in the locker room? People trying to tell you, who you going to vote for? People asking questions about things like presidential politics. We'll ask Jay about that as well. So it's all coming up. It's the PM Show on Sports, Fred Dryer edition. I'm Paul Stern, in today for Fred Dryer.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through September 30th, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms.
For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
Now is the time to save on hardwood and more at Lumber Liquidators' end of summer clearance sale. We're making room for new fall inventory. That means it's your chance to get an incredible deal on solid pre-finished hardwood for just 99 cents. Wide plank, hand-scraped oak for $1.99. Beautiful carbonized bamboo for $1.29. Plus, get 10 to 15% off Morningstar Bamboo, the #1 selling brand of bamboo flooring. Top quality laminate and vinyl plank from 49 cents and 24-month special financing. Hurry, the end of summer clearance sale is going on now. Visit lumberliquidators.com to find a store near you.
Welcome back, everybody, to the PM Show on Sports, the Fred Dreyer edition. I love saying that, Fred Dreyer edition. It sounds like so professional, like an authority, a sports authority. Sounds like a name of a store. I think it is. Jay Johnstone joining us today here on the program. Looking forward to talking with Jay. It's always a pleasure. Jay Johnstone's one of the true gentlemen of sports. This is the kind of guy. Jay's the kind of guy. If you've never heard Jay on the air before, if you've never tuned into the PM Show on Sports, and we've spoken with Jay in the past, of course, looking forward to speaking with him today. Jay's very well spoken. He really kind of sums things up in a nutshell. He has a take on sports. He has a take on life in general. And I'm kind of curious if he has a take on politics, you know. I don't doubt Fred Dreyer is probably at home prepared for the big presidential debate that's coming up literally at the time of this taping, at the time of this broadcast, literally less than 1 hour away. I'm sure Fred very interested in the politics, but I don't know about Jay. You know, a lot of the times, you know, they say like sports and politics don't mix. And we'll find out from Jay. Like I said, were there ever any personalities that like to kind of express their political opinion in the clubhouse, you know? I mean, baseball personalities that he might have encountered over the years. Can't really think of anybody that comes to mind as having any particular political leaning within sports right off the top of my head. So I hope... well, I imagine Jay will have some good stuff for us, so I'll be looking forward to that. Talking about politics and sports, you know, Tom Brady, he's endorsed Donald Trump. He actually said, I hope he's our president. Tom Brady made his, I guess they're calling it lightheartedly, a fantasy pick. But his pick is Donald Trump. Tom Brady has endorsed, I guess they've been longtime friends. At least that's what it says here in the story. Brady has endorsed his longtime friend for president of the United States, Donald Trump. Brady and Trump have been friends since 2002, frequently golfing together. Oh, there you go. Trump has those golf courses. And I'm sure Brady, being the spectacular quarterback that he is, probably gets carte blanche. It says Brady even has Trump's campaign hat in his locker. I don't know exactly what that means. A campaign hat. I guess he has a Trump for president hat in his locker. It's unclear, according to the story, if Brady backs his policies or the renovation he might make to the White House. Now that, I think they're trying to be a little tongue-in-cheek here in the story. Has Donald Trump spoken about any renovations to the White House? I don't think that he has, so... Interesting story, though. Tom Brady endorses Donald Trump. I hope he's our president. Do you believe it? Does anybody believe it? Tomas? Brady getting involved? We'll find out from Jay Johnstone. If anybody on any of the teams that he might have played for, if anybody had such a overt, open opinion on who they supported for any political office, for that matter. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Peyton Manning. Again, class act that he is. He hosted a fan with stage 4 cancer at the Denver Broncos season opener. Good thing. What can you say about that? Kind of shades of, the old Babe Ruth story. That was one of the classic stories of baseball. When Babe Ruth, I believe prior to a game, visited an ill child at the hospital. And he made a promise to the child that he would, I think, not only hit a single home run, but I think hit 2 home runs. And I think the story has actually been maybe kind of enhanced over the years, but I think the bottom line is that Babe Ruth did go to the hospital, and he did meet a kid that was in ill of health, and it kind of sets a tradition that has been followed by many sports figures doing charitable work, dealing with those that are less fortunate. And in this case, no big surprise, but Peyton Manning, in this instance, he hosted a fan. I'd like to hear more of these type of stories. I think it would be better for not only the game of baseball or the professional football, but just sports in general. I think it's a good story that when the players give back to those that have supported them over the years, and certainly when somebody has ill health and has a medical condition, and their fate is maybe uncertain, it could make all the difference in the world, I think, to go ahead and do something like that. So, congratulations to Peyton Manning for doing the right thing, doing something very nice. Of course, talking about doing something nice, Jay Johnstone. A golf tournament for wounded warriors. Can't get any better than that. That's good stuff. So we'll find out. We'll get all the details and information on that. That's something really important. That's probably even more important than talk about certainly talk about the Republican debate. But although when you talk about a sport, a lot of people look at it as sport. So we should almost comment on it as if it was some type of an event, a sporting event. But we'll check with Jay to see again. I'm just curious if anybody that he might have encountered over the years had any kind of overt political opinions, and they try to persuade maybe their clubhouse mates, locker mates, who or what to vote for. Always kind of interesting. Nowadays, it's so obvious when people are political, you can kind of see it a mile away, but back in the day, people kind of, mum's the word, it was kind of like, I think a lot of people certainly, when it came to voting or who they choose to vote for, they kind of consider that almost like it's like religion. It's like somebody, don't talk to me about my particular political preferences. That's none of your business. I go into the voting booth, and it's a closed voting booth, for no specific reason. It's not meant to be shared, perhaps. So there you go. Kind of interested, though. A lot of people nowadays, they have big time opinions, and they just don't keep it to themselves. So I'll be kind of curious to see if Jay Johnson ever encountered anybody that was of that ilk, or again, if it's more like kind of what I kind of think and expect, that people kind of get quiet about certain things. Hey, it is the PM show. It's our Wednesday edition. It's the weekend edition. It's the Fred Dreyer, Mike Horn edition. But putting all that aside, I'm Paul Stern, and I'm here with you. It is Wednesday. It is the weekend, if you're listening it on the weekend. And Jay Johnstone will be our guest. So we've covered all of that, so why don't we cover some messages from important sponsors. All covered right up here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Your season-long fantasy football team may be going strong, but you don't have to wait till week 16 to get paid. Put your fantasy skills to the test every week this season at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. 1-week fantasy football means no season-long commitments. It's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. And get this, DraftKings is crowning a new millionaire every week this season. You could turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. Believe me, you've never experienced football like this before. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use your promo code DRYER to play for free for a shot at $1 million in this week's Millionaire Maker event. Enter DRYER for free entry now, only at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Do you have really pure water? Maybe not if you're drinking bottled water. Bottled water has some dirty little secrets. Plastic bottles come from oil products. The 5-gallon polycarbonate jugs contain bisphenol A, a synthetic estrogen that has raised health concerns. Bottled water dispensers quickly develop algae and bacteria and should be sanitized regularly. Have you ever cleaned your water dispenser? Are you drinking water containing algae and bacteria and synthetic estrogen? Now the good news. Pure Water Science can replace that dirty, outdated bottled water cooler with a high-tech water purification system. The Pure Water Science system features a stainless steel tank that constantly monitors water quality to guarantee your water is pure. It alerts you when service or filter changes are needed. Multi-stage purification removes organic and inorganic contaminants, and the patented self-sanitizing feature eliminates algae and bacteria while adding oxygen to your water. It costs less than bottled water without the bottled water hassle. No more bottles to lift. Just sanitize delicious water, hot or cold, from Pure Water Science. Call 818-502-4191. 818-502-4191.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free, and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Are you looking to increase the number of calls you receive in your business? Well, CRN Talk is introducing a new way for customers to reach you without having to remember your phone number or your website address. Customers simply dial pound 250 from their mobile phones and say your business name. That's it. They'll be directed immediately to your phone line and receive a text message with a link to your website and phone number. It's that easy. It works so well that we're using it in this commercial. To sign up, dial pound 250 and say get my keyword. That's pound 250 and say get my keyword.
Welcome back, everybody, to the PM show. It's our weekend edition on sports. I'm Paul Stern, sitting in today for Mike Horn and Fred Dreyer. And indeed, it is an honor to bring out our guest today. Kind of a lot of people, I hate to kind of say here's somebody that needs no introduction, but I'll just go ahead and say that Jay Johnstone, welcome to the PM show.
Well, thank you very much. I don't know about needing no introduction, but
well,
I got my name put in a lot of
all you need to say is Jay Johnstone.
Okay.
And of course, a lot of stuff comes up. You've had an incredible career. The baseball career, stellar. I mean, you certainly had an impact. Your numbers prove that point very, very well. You played for many, many teams, and we kind of earlier, prior to coming on board, we kind of told basically the uniqueness of kind of how you managed to play for the many teams that you played for, and it wasn't due to any kind of inadequacy or desire to ever get rid of Jay Johnstone. It was the fact that Jay Johnstone was a player that was always in demand.
Yeah, I got very lucky. The fact that I could play multiple positions, and I had some pretty good years at the beginning of my career. The Angels were my first team, and I got a chance to play, like I said, for 8 different teams, and in the process was able to pick up 4 World Series rings, which a lot of guys beg, borrow, and steal just to get one, and I'm lucky enough to get 4.
And of course, you had and again, as time goes by, some people have, either have a reputation or good or bad, and over the years, you've been kind of one of those good guys, the people that you put smiles on people's faces.
Well, I kept myself out of trouble, and didn't get involved in any big problems and stuff like that, and I always tried to make people happy, and so it's been rewarding. I love speaking at groups. In fact, tomorrow, the next 3 days, I have 3 different Rotary clubs I have to speak at. So I go out to colleges and talk to high school kids and tell them how I was able to be successful, the kind of work stuff that I did, the stuff with running, and I really push for these high school kids and the college kids. Don't run on asphalt. Don't run on asphalt or concrete. If you're going to run on something like the steps of a stadium. All my help came from Walter Payton. Remember the great football player for the Bears? Walter took me out to his hill one day and told me to bring my tennis shoes, and I got a chance to run up the hill that he would run up 4 or 5 times a day before he'd go to practice. And after the third one, I'd say, "Okay, Walter, I'm done." That was it. But been very lucky not to have any major injuries.
No, you kept yourself free of the injuries. The numbers were always good. You were in demand, always a desired player to have on the team, always brought a sense of harmony to the clubhouse, although the reputation as a prankster, as kind of the locker room joker, is one that's always kind of gone along with you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's never really hurt you. It's always been something that has been a benefit, a plus.
It has. Well, you got to have a little fun in life, make people laugh, and I've had some good friends over the years. Steve Garvey's helped a little bit, even though we played a lot of pranks on him. Jerry Royce has been one of my cohorts. Don Stanhouse, when he was with the Dodgers, we teamed up and did a lot of crazy things together, and so it's kind of fun to pull some pranks on guys in the clubhouse, stuff like that, and we did it. And every now and then, you get paid back with you find some goofy stuff in your shoes or something like that, but it was fun, and it was all done in with good intentions. And the teams I played on had a bunch of really great guys.
And you even pulled a prank on Tommy Lasorda and lived to tell about it.
Oh, hey, he was our main character, man. We used to love to get Tommy. Okay.
I mean, is it true that you actually did a routine, I guess, with a can of Slim Fast?
Oh yeah, I put on a jersey of his, put towels in my butt, towels in my stomach. Made me look fat. I waddled out to the mound. Stanhouse was my locker mate. He was pitching in the 8th inning. We needed to win this game. I ran out to the mound. It was a hot day. We're playing the Pirates, and I brought him a can of Slim Fast. And he looked at me. He put his glove over his mouth. He was laughing so hard. He said, "What the hell are you doing out here?" I said, "Well, Stanley, you look a little tired. Look a little run down." I said, "We need to win this game." I said, "I brought you a can of Tommy Slim Fast to pep you up a little bit." He says, "Oh, you got to be kidding me." He said, "No, I'm not kidding you. Here I am." And so I said, "You got to take a sip." I brought it out here. I said, "Stanley, you got to sip it now. Come on, you got to sip it." So he took a big gulp. I said, "Okay." So I waddled off the mound, and of course, Tommy's in the dugout shaking his head. He can't believe what I'm doing. So.
It's an unbelievable story, and of course, it's become like almost folklore in the world of sports. So these pranks, these jokes that again. At the hands of Jay Johnstone. We're going to talk more with Jay coming up right after this.
CRN listeners, when you come to Southern California, stop by a great restaurant, the Dresden Restaurant at 1760 North Vermont Avenue in Hollywood. Enjoy great entertainment, like the music of the legendary Marty and Elaine at the world-famous Dresden Restaurant. The Dresden was the location for the making of the movie Swingers. Now you can swing with stars Marty and Elaine. Plus, enjoy great food, too, like French onion soup, artichoke hearts, and many other great appetizers. Seafood, there's salmon, shrimp scampi, New Zealand orange roughy, halibut, Lake Superior whitefish, and specialties, like veal marsala, piccata, and parmigiana. Plus, we've got a great roast rack of lamb, chicken piccata, and cordon bleu, and pasta dishes, too. Steaks, filet, New York, Chateaubriand for two. Much more, too, including pork chops, prime rib of beef, and an incredibly extra large cut of prime rib. It's the Dresden Restaurant, open for lunch Monday through Saturday and dinner Monday through Sunday. Check us out at 1760 North Vermont Avenue or call 323-665-4294.
Are you nearing eligibility for Medicare benefits? Then you know now is an important time in your life. Medicare benefits can be a complicated puzzle. You don't want to overpay for your Medicare coverage or get the wrong plan. Let Health Markets Insurance Agency help you. With one free phone call, a licensed insurance agent will help you select a Medicare plan that's right for you and your budget. If you're becoming eligible for Medicare, call today and learn how to get the most out of your benefits.
800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Health Markets Insurance Agency is the DBA or assumed name of InSphere Insurance Solutions, Inc., which is an authorized insurance agency in all 50 states and the District of Columbia. Not all agents are licensed to sell all products. Service and product availability varies by state.
Call 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960. 800-793-1960.
Do you still believe the old-fashioned notion that you're free to withdraw your cash from your bank as you wish? Ha! Don't bank on it. Truth is, if you have a bank account, you're a casualty of the government's war against cash, and don't even know it. According to The Secret War, a new white paper I just read, it's free to you right now by calling 800-630-1491, 800-630-1491. As I speak, governments are moving to outlaw cash to usher in a 100% cashless society. Why? Because with only 1% cash in existence, the giant money illusion, built 99% out of paper debt, could collapse overnight. No wonder banks must now spy on you for the government. No wonder banks are moving to limit cash withdrawals. No wonder savers are being pushed into riskier assets. Read The Secret War, free, by calling 800-630-1491. That's 800-630-1491.
And now, a touching moment. Well, staying in touch with Geico.
It was a warm summer day. I was just sitting on a porch watching a babbling brook roll by. Then, out of the blue, I got an update from my Geico app saying my claim had been processed. I felt so connected to nature, to Geico. I stayed there the whole afternoon, until that guy told me to stop trespassing on his porch. Sheesh, what was his problem?
Claim status updates, just a few taps away on the Geico app.
AJ here from the Tee It Up Radio Network. Each week we cover the world of golf for you. Celebrating 18 years, Tee It Up continues to bring you fresh inside-the-ropes reporting and one-on-ones with Hollywood's most passionate golfers. So stay in the know with the Tee It Up Show, Sunday morning 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, live right here on CRN, Digital Talk Radio.
Catch the gang from Tee It Up on CRN1 Sundays 6 to 8 a.m. Pacific Time, 9 to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on CRN Digital Talk Radio.
Welcome back, everybody, to the PM show on sports. It's our Fred Dreyer edition. I'm Paul Stern, in today for Mike Horn and Fred Dreyer. They're both out on assignment. And if you're just joining us, great time to be with us here. We have on the hotline Jay Johnstone, of course, former professional baseball player. Played with a bunch of teams, 8 teams. The California Angels start, too bad he won't have mentioned, of course. Many people remembered, of course, his time with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Of course, the Pinks are legendary. And Jay, you're involved with the Wounded Warrior Project. This is something that, again, it doesn't come at any big surprise. You've always been supportive, of course, of the military, a veteran yourself. And tell us a bit about what you're doing. I understand there's a golf tournament that we got to talk about. Yes,
I am involved a little bit. I guess partly because my dad was a sergeant major in the Army, and he was really tough. And so when the opportunity came, I was either going to get drafted in the Army or I could choose a military unit to join So I said I didn't want to go in the Army because I knew my dad was there. So I joined the Marine Corps, and right after the haircut, I knew that was a really big mistake, but probably the best thing that ever happened to me for the training. I had some wonderful training, met some great guys, and did my service and all that stuff like that. But I enjoyed my time in the Marine Corps, and it really helped me. Actually, physically, it helped me more than anything I'd ever done before, physical-wise, for my baseball career.
And, of course, giving back, we were mentioning earlier that, a long history when it comes to sports figures giving back from Babe Ruth, and meeting a kid in the hospital and making a promise to hit a home run. And whether or not that story is totally accurate is besides the point. The fact of the matter is Babe Ruth did visit a kid in a hospital, and many other sports figures have long followed that same tradition. And it's good to know that, again, the Wounded Warrior Project, that's something that, again, we've heard about particularly since our, when we talk since like Desert Storm and Iraq and all that stuff. So tell us a bit about first of all, what it is that you're doing for the Wounded Warriors. How will this golf tournament that I understand is going to take place in October, how does it benefit the Wounded Warrior? And more importantly, how can people get involved? How can people help out?
Well, General Paul Mock is a two-star general coming up from Camp Pendleton. He's going to bring some of the Wounded Warriors up to the West Ridge Country Club, which is on La Habra Boulevard, right there by it's La Habra, Brea area, right behind the Walmart, in fact, on La Habra Boulevard. And what we're going to do is sponsored by Liberty Mutual. But because the Veterans Hospital, which is way out on the west side of town, is really filled with former veterans, the new guys coming back, there's not really a whole lot of places they can go to get help because the place is so full on the other side. So they've got a place called the Fisher House that they're working on to build it so that the newer military guys will have a place to go to get medical help. And they've been working on it a long time. They're nearing their $6 million goal to put them over the top. And this is and the groundbreaking is set to begin this year. And once they build that, then we'll be able to put a lot of the military veterans that need the not only the physical help and the mental help, but a place to go where they can get the medical stuff that will help keep them going and live a better life.
Well, what an incredible thing to do. I mean, I can't tell you when we think about it. We every now and then you'll pass a military hospital, and they look. I don't want to say that they look dated, but you can tell. You kind of get the impression that they're serving like World War II veterans, perhaps maybe Korean War and Vietnam War.
Veterans too.
But now we got all these new veterans who have increased needs and needs that are different from those that have preceded them.
You're so true. And the Army is the United States Army has been a big help with some of these veterans, getting them into situations where they can get the treatment they need, and that's the good part. These guys have gone on; they've served their country well, and some of them come back and they might be missing a limb or badly maimed, or some guys are they've been wounded pretty bad. They've got they got a place that they can go now that can help fix them. Once this place is built, they can go and get the need that they deserve. And I'm just really so upset over the last several months about this hospital situation in Arizona, where our veterans have had to wait 60, 90 days sometimes to get into the hospital, and some of them have unfortunately passed away waiting to get in, and that should never happen. These guys have served their time, and they've done their duty, and they've helped our country, and to have things like that happen where they're out there and they can't get any help is a shame. And I think Congress finally did some head rolling and got some people fired and got some new people in there to make sure that this never happens again.
Well, and it also takes, not to put any of the burden on professionals, celebrities, baseball players like yourself, but when you speak about it, when it comes from a Jay Johnstone that help is needed, I think people take it a little bit more seriously. People know and respect you, that you have a good reputation, and if Jay Johnstone says this is a good thing to do, then it's a good thing to do.
It is, and like I said, the Army's been a big help also. The Army's gotten behind this, the people, the Corps. and they're making it better for these veterans. And like I said, they went out, they served their country, they did what they had to do, and they protected us, okay, and our families and somewhat. And so it's time for us to make sure that we take care of them and their need. And I think a lot of people are getting behind it, because you got the National Guard, you got the Army Reserve, you got the Junior ROTC, and so you've got a lot of people, a lot of volunteers are getting into this, and to make sure that our veterans get the care that they need, and rightly so. I mean, I'm amazed that we've got Korean War veterans that still have issues, and you got World War II guys that still have issues, and they deserve something for their service and their time what they did for us, to make sure that they're taken care of with all their medical needs.
Okay, Jay, hold on the line. We're going to come back. We'll talk about this golf tournament again. That's raising funds for the Wounded Warrior Project, the Fisher House. We're going to come back with that right after this brief timeout. We're talking with Jay Johnstone, the legendary Jay Johnstone, right here on the PM Show on Sports, here on CRN Digital Talk.
Welcome to Staples.
Hi, Staples guy. My office computers are running really slow. Do you?
Staples has the latest Windows 10 devices. They're lightning fast.
But I want...
A great deal? Right now, get up to $250 off select laptops, desktops, and 2-in-1 PCs with Windows 10.
Wow, and do you have plans?
No, actually, I'm free.
I meant tech service plans.
Yes, we do, and I'm still free.
Get more tech for up to $250 less. Staples. Make more happen. Offer ends 9/26, valid in-store and online while supplies last.
I'm Jay Farner with some great news on how you could save an average of $3,000 per year on your mortgage. Call Quicken Loans now at 800-QUICKEN to see if you qualify for the government's Home Affordable Refinance Program, or HARP. The HARP guidelines have changed. There's less paperwork and often no appraisal required. Call 800-QUICKEN. That's 800-QUICKEN. Or visit QuickenLoans.com.
Important terms and conditions apply. Call us for cost information. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
I just sneaked into my kids' rooms and took temperatures while they're sleeping, thanks to my Exergen thermometer. All I did was swipe their foreheads for a few seconds. It didn't even wake them up. My sister, the nurse, told us about the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer, and it's the best. Real value for the money and truly a lifesaver. Now I don't have to deal with ears or rears, if you know what I mean.
I'm Dr. Frank Pompey, founder of Exergen. Thousands of hospitals and clinics rely on temporal scanners. I'm confident you will too.
The Exergen Temporal Scanner. Pick one up at Costco and other fine retailers, or visit us at Exergen.com.
Got a lot on your to-do list? Now, during Kubota's Power to Do Great Things sales event, get a great deal on an L3301 or 3901 tractor with a live continuous running rear PTO. Now get financing as low as 0% APR for up to 5 years, and great customer instant rebates when you buy a new L3301 or 3901 and 2 implements. Now through September 30th, 2015. Call toll-free 1-888-465-8268 for details about cost and terms. For more information or to find a participating dealer, visit Kubota.com.
Talking with Jay Johnstone here on the PM Show on Sports, the Fred Dreyer edition. Jay Johnstone, of course, known as the kind of the Prince of Pranks, one of the all-time great clubhouse jokesters. But today we're talking about something a little bit more on the serious side, and I think appropriately so, as we aforementioned earlier on in the broadcast, Jay, that the time of this taping, we're literally less than an hour away from the Republican presidential debates, which are taking place at the Ronald Reagan Library in Simi Valley, California. And we kind of jokingly asked earlier, Was there ever any clubhouse electioneering? Was there anybody? Did anybody ever bring politics into the locker room? I could only think of anything that would be more upsetting to a game day performance than somebody bringing up politics in the locker room. But before we get back to the Wounded Warrior Project and the golf tournament that's coming up, Jay, did anybody ever do that? Did they ever pull one of those out of the deck, start talking or electioneering in the clubhouse?
Actually, that's a great question, but nobody ever brought up politics in the locker room. Nobody really talked about it. There's a lot of other things you talk about, but usually when you're in the locker room, the guys, get their stuff done, their training in, and some guys are in the weight room. Other guys may have to get some, a rub down or something, get some put on or whatever like that. And it's funny that you bring that up because as long as I remember, I don't ever remember anybody ever talking politics. They may talk about TV shows or movies or what's going on or what's happening to certain guys, or maybe some guys would get there early and watch maybe a game prior to them playing in a game, that was on TV. But nobody ever brought up politics.
I sure hope it's the same.
Well,
sometimes you can check certain things should be checked at the door. Guns and politics.
Well, I agree with you on that. I mean, there's a place and time for everything, and obviously the clubhouse is a time where you got to prepare yourself to get ready to play that game tonight or whatever you're going to do. And a lot of times, especially the starting pitcher, you kind of leave him alone. You don't, he's got his thoughts. He's got to think about what he wants to do, how he wants to pitch certain guys. Some guys are going over scouting reports on the pitcher that's there that night, what he might pitch, where he might try to throw the ball and things. So other guys may be down the batting cage, kind of loosening up a little bit. So everybody has their own different way of getting themselves ready and prepare for the game, so that when the bell rings and it's time for you to go out there and do your job, you're right on top of everything.
Even with the pranks, it's all business.
Well, it's all business to a certain degree, but we like to have a little fun. Like the time I cut the middle of the underwear out of Rick Sutcliffe's pants.
Oh my God!
And then that's when I knew that when he put that underwear on, he was going to be a little upset. So I took some of that material and put it in a pair of scissors and stuck it over in Don Stanhouse's locker, made it look like he did it.
Oh, Jay, it's too much. I mean, I can only imagine if there's a Jay Johnstone in the clubhouse today. Direct us to him because we want to talk to him because it always just a stack of stories that again you couldn't make it up. You couldn't make it up.
You have to remember now. I had an issue. Okay.
You did.
When I was a rookie, Bill Rigney was the manager of the Angels, and he decided that he was going to room me with an outfielder that used to play for the Red Sox named Jimmy Pearsall. Now he's on the Angels.
Oh.
Now, Pearsall would walk around the clubhouse with papers saying, look, I'm sane, look, it says I'm sane. Here's a guy that went into the nut house twice.
There's a few DJs that did that as well.
He went into the sane asylum twice to get him back going again.
Oh, my God.
And here I got a room with this guy, okay? So maybe that had something to do with it, but he was, what a lovable guy he was. I really learned a lot. I learned a lot about playing outfield and stuff from him, about baseball things. That he was a great mentor in that respect, and that's the one thing today. I do not see the older veterans mentoring the young guys at all. And I've asked some of the guys. I said, "Did any of the veterans come up and no?" And I don't understand that because that's where you learn. I mean, if I'm a young player, especially a pitcher or something like that, I want to ask these guys, what do they think? Get their opinion.
That is very, very interesting. I'm going to have to be now more aware and cognizant and keep my eyes open towards looking at kind of seeing the interaction with the veterans and the rookies and seeing kind of what's going on and what's happening.
I mean, what is going on? Advice that like he would give me. He said, "Hey, come here." He said, "See that picture?" I said, "If Rick Monday's hitting, and you're going to be hitting next or in the lineup at that particular time, you guys are both alike. You're both left-hand batters, okay?" Watch to see how that pitcher throws the ball, how he pitches Rick Monday. And chances are, if you watch him, that's the same way he's going to pitch you.
Interesting.
And he would give you really great tips on what to do, and especially outfield play. Watch how a guy's standing, or watch if a guy opens his stance where he's going to try and pull the ball, or if a guy closes his stance, he may want to try and go the other way. And so he would give me fabulous tips. The only problem was he'd do it at 3 o'clock in the morning when we're on the road. He'd wake me up. Go, hey, Rook, are you awake? Are you awake? What? Are you awake? It's 3 o'clock in the morning, Jimmy. He said, yeah, I know. Remember that play in the 5th inning? What? The play in the 5th inning. Yeah. What would you have done? I don't know, hit the cutoff man. Great. Now go back to sleep.
Amazing stuff. And again, strange but true.
Yep.
Hey, Jay, could you hang with us through the break? Just one more commercial break, because I want to make sure that everybody knows about the golf tournament that's taking place and the benefit for Wounded Warriors and the Fisher House.
Great, thanks.
Okay, we're going to come back. Jay Johnson, one final segment to come. Going to get all the information. Time to go get a paper and a pencil to get down all the information. It's all coming up right after this here on the PM Show on Sports. I'm Paul Stern.
Your season-long fantasy football team may be going strong, but you don't have to wait till Week 16 to get paid. Put your fantasy skills to the test every week this season at DraftKings.com, America's favorite one-week fantasy football site. 1 week fantasy football means no season-long commitments. It's like a new season every week, so you're never stuck with the same players. And get this, DraftKings is crowning a new millionaire every week this season. You could turn your love of football into a life-changing payday. Believe me, you've never experienced football like this before. This isn't fantasy as usual. This is DraftKings. Welcome to the big time. Hurry to DraftKings.com now and use your promo code DRYER to play for free for a shot at $1 million in this week's Millionaire Maker event. Enter DRYER for free entry now, only at DraftKings.com. DraftKings.com. That's DraftKings.com.
Hi, I'm Joan London, and if you're worried about your parent or a loved one living alone like I was, and you want reliable senior care information, then call A Place for Mom, the nation's largest senior living referral service. You'll get free information on assisted living, Alzheimer's care, nursing homes, even important financial information.
They had obviously researched every place, not just given me names. Really? They found me a place for what she could afford, and it was magnificent.
We're now very confident that she's safe, and they just helped every step of the way, and I can't thank them enough.
So if you're struggling to find reliable senior living information, call A Place for Mom. This is a free service, and you can trust them to help you.
If you're struggling to find reliable senior living information for your mom or dad, then call or go online to get the free help you need during this turbulent time. Call now, 800-471-5173, 800-471-5173.
I am a non-attorney spokesperson. Attention men who've taken Androgel or any other testosterone therapy products. Androgel or other low-T products have been linked to heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, even death. Scientific studies indicate that the use of testosterone therapy products may double a man's risk of heart attack. If you or a loved one took Androgel or a testosterone therapy product and suffered from a heart attack, stroke, pulmonary embolism, deep vein thrombosis, or any other cardiac event, you might be entitled to financial compensation. You have rights, and you need to let us fight for your rights. And you pay no fees unless we win. So call the tort attorneys right now. 800-557-7921. 800-557-7921. That's 800-557-7921. Cases may be referred to participating law firms in your jurisdiction.
Always a pleasure talking with our guest, Jay Johnstone, here on the PM Show. It's our PM Show on Sports, our Fred Dryer edition. I'm Paul Stern, in for Fred Dryer and Michael Horn today. Jay, thank you again so much for being with us here on the program. It's always a pleasure to talk about your career in baseball, your insight, your wisdom as to kind of what goes on behind the scenes, and then just the spirit in which you've maintained and kind of handled yourself, and that you've given back to people that you care about, people that are in need, people that are less fortunate to certain extents. And so it's just always just a pleasure. It's always something that puts a smile on our face. And again, we just want to thank you and appreciate you for taking time out of your day to join us.
Oh, I can't thank you enough. You know, I've been very fortunate in my life. Like I said, I've had a lot of people over the years that helped me get to where I am now today in baseball, and so I want to give something back to the other people. Let them know what's going on.
Well, Jay, you're a true gentleman. Tell us a bit about this golf tournament. This is probably the most important thing that we have to talk about.
It's coming up October 2nd at the West Ridge Country Club, and the West Ridge Country Club is right off of La Habra Boulevard there, and it's behind the Walmart. The address is 400 South La Habra Hills Drive. And it's very reasonable. 4 guys can get in for $600 or $150 per person, and they can call the West Ridge Country Club on La Habra Hills Road. And we're going to have quite a few people out there, and then we're going to have a wonderful dinner and silent auction afterwards. And we're going to raise some pretty good amounts of money for these wounded warriors. And it's a great thing. And then, like I said, all the proceeds for the tournament will go to the Fisher House. And that way they can continually aggressively support our local military guys that need help medically and physically and spiritually to get back to being great people again.
Definitely, obviously, a project and an endeavor well worthwhile. For those that maybe haven't participated in an event like this, a charity event or a golf tournament, is there a website that people can get additional information on, the details?
Well, Liberty Mutual is going to be the main sponsor, but I'm sure they must have a website somewhere, but what I would do to find out more information, I would call the West Ridge Golf Club in La Habra, California, and they can give them the information. Okay.
And again, you'll get all the info from the people at the West Ridge Golf Club. And again, it sounds like a lovely place, a lovely facility. The course is going to be great, and I'm sure Jay, you'll be there. Your friends will be there, and a good time should be had by all.
I hope so. We're looking forward to it. Like I said, we want to raise a lot of money for these guys, and the price really is pretty reasonable. It's $150 per person, so for 4 people it's $600, and you're going to have a great dinner afterwards and all that stuff.
And then if you want to go ahead and maybe talk a little politics, or ask your political leaders, what are they doing to support Fisher House? Sure,
we can get them to come out and talk to them, and we'll get them all the information they need, and if they want to make a donation to the Fisher House, we'll get them all that information, and I'll be out there. General Mock will be out there. I've got some other celebrity athletes that friends of mine are going to come out. We're going to have a wonderful day.
Jay, thanks for joining us here on the PM Show. It's our PM Show on sports. Thank you so much again.
You wonderful. Take care. All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
The one and only Jay Johnston, everybody. It's always such a pleasure to talk with Jay. Just a real man among men. That's that's the simplest way to put it here. Hey, for Mike Horn, for Fred Dreyer, for everybody here at CRN Digital Talk Behind the Scenes, thank you for listening, and join us next time.
CRN Digital Talk Radio prides itself on being the station of every situation. And you can listen to us on nearly any platform and device. Download to your iPhone, Android, and BlackBerry episodes of What's Cookin'. And take Master Sommelier Michael Jordan with you to the wine shop so he can help you pick out that perfect bottle of wine. Stream episodes of the Sonoma Wine Report through our CRN app, TuneIn Radio, Novex, Stitcher, UTunes, or AHA Radio, and start planning that unforgettable weekend in the wine country. They're in your corner on iHeartRadio, iTunes, and many other apps. And of course, you can always listen live through your local cable TV provider, as well as on our website at crntalk.com. For more information on where to listen to these great shows, along with many others, log on to crntalk.com and create your own listening experience today. The Radio Channel.